All right, second grade, today we are talking about our science class. So we are talking about the different parts of a flower. Now Ben and I just read in our pages today, and we talked about plants and how they're formed, and they start by forming seeds. Now there's different kinds of seeds, and they go in the ground, obviously. And then from that, you can see in your book there are the different kinds of the plants. Now we went outside and we found one of the first things that they said about the leaves. So Ben, hold up the two different kinds of leaves that we found. So one is the leaf from a dandelion. This one is a leaf from a tulip. So here is our tulip. Okay, and then here is our dandelion. It's already wilted a little. Now notice what happens as soon as you take up the plant. What happened to the leaf? What's it starting to do? Ben, do you notice what it's starting to do?
No.
It's starting to die. It's starting to die. Now it says the leaves use the sunlight and the air. The leaves are actually what make the food. So if you went outside and you got a leaf, the leaf is very important to the plant. If it doesn't have that, it won't have the food that it needs in order to grow. Now the next part that we are going to talk about are the flowers. So it says here, Ben will go ahead and read it.
Many plants also have flowers. The flowers make seeds.
Okay, so the flowers make the seeds. So the seeds will just keep forming. So here are our two different kinds of flowers. Go ahead and hold up our first one. Okay, so the first one, all right, so this is a chrysanthemum, I think is what it's called, and it has a couple different kinds of little flower petals coming off the stem. All right, and then the other flower that we got, go ahead, is our dandelion. So here's our dandelion flower. Okay, so this is the part, if you'll notice this in this fall or even in the spring, it will get all white, and then you can blow on it and send the seeds out into wherever, and then they'll form new flowers. Or sometimes the wind will take a hold of these, or even other animals will attach to these seeds on the flower, and then it will carry them away. Now the next thing that we're going to talk about is the stem. So the stem is what holds your flower up, and here's the stem on our plant. Ben, go ahead and read what it says about the stems, and you can read along in your book if you have it too.
The stems hold the plant upright. They hold up the leaves and the flowers. Stems move water and nutrients from the roots to the leaves. Stems move food from the leaves to other parts of the plant.
All right, so the stem is important because if you were to open this up, and I'm going to open this up, Ben doesn't know this yet, but don't do this at home without your parents, but you can take a knife, or you can just even use your finger, but if you open up the stem and you just cut it right open or just pull it right open, you can see when I open it up, if you put your finger on it.
Can I put my finger on it?
If you put your finger on it, it's what?
It feels gooey.
Gooey and wet, because that is part of the process of it making the food.
Ew,
so we'll talk more
gooey
about what actually helps make the food. So remember, all of those things help it make food. It needs the water, it needs the air, and it needs the sunlight to make the food. And then the last part that we're going to talk about is the root of the plant. So Ben's going to read about the root. Go ahead, Ben.
Roots take in water and nutrients from the soil. They help hold the plant in the ground.
Okay, so I don't have a plant here that had the roots, but the roots actually attach it to the ground, and then it takes the water and the nutrients from the ground, it goes up the stem, and then they start to make the food in the stem from the leaves, and then the leaves pour that up to the flower. So it's a process, just like in our body. God made it so that when we have food, it doesn't stay in one spot. It goes through our body, and it helps make us have energy. It helps us to stay healthy. So God even created our bodies to process food and get rid of the food that we eat in many different ways. The flower, it actually helps it to grow. And
it's like a cucumber.
And food does help us grow. What would happen if we didn't have food? Would that be good for us?
Gooey.
Would it be good for us if we didn't have food? No, we need food to grow, to keep healthy and strong. So same reason God made flowers to have a way to grow strong. And all those things are important. Sunlight's important, air's important. You need to have what else? Water. And food, the nutrients. All right, that's all we're going to talk about today.
Bye, guys.
We're going to do a science experiment that you want to see. So, on our experiment today, we're going to take a couple of different things and we're going to see what happens to our peeps. Now, I told Ben he could have one. You can have one after. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the peeps and we're going to add it to different chemicals and see what happens to it. Now a peep is made mostly of sugar and different things.
And marshmallow.
And marshmallow. So he's going to take a peep and he's going to put it in. We have four different glasses. So he'll go ahead and put those peeps in 4 different glasses. Drop them in.
I'm sorry.
1 in each.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, babes. Miss Nichols told me to do this.
So I have water in this glass. So we'll see in a couple days. We'll check on it. Go ahead and put them in.
I'm sorry, you go with your friends.
No, he needs to be in his own cup. So we're going to put white vinegar. We're going to pour white vinegar in this cup.
What are you going to do with the rest?
Pour white vinegar. Okay. So we'll pour that in.
So
we'll pour it mostly about halfway. We're going to pour in corn syrup. So we're going to put in more corn syrup and see what happens.
Sorry, guys.
We put corn syrup in.
Tom has to go.
So we'll put corn syrup in this one.
I'm sorry, Tom. He made me do it.
Let's not be loud.
Okay.
All right, so that one has corn syrup in it. And then the last one, we're going to do hydrogen peroxide. So we're going to see what happens to each of these peeps when it's put in different environments. We're going to see if they stay the same, if they melt, if they disintegrate, or we'll just keep a gauge and try to see what happens. So we'll come back in a couple of days and we'll show you what has happened. But let's look at each. I'll spin this around so you can see.
Can I tell them their names?
This one has water.
Can I tell them their names?
This has vinegar. This has the corn syrup, so you can see that's nice and thick. And then that one is your hydrogen peroxide.
Can I tell them their names?
All right. Next week, Ben will tell us what the names are. Have a great day.